When I found out I was allergic to gluten, I felt so much better after I stopped eating them. But he, instead of being happy that his girlfriend was feeling better, he was constantly, on a daily basis, telling me I looked horrible, that I was just making it up. He was saying like, yeah, it's all in your mind. You're not allergic to gluten. You're just crazy.
Psychopaths often try to convince a prey that he or she is crazy. And when they succeed in making someone doubt himself, they weaken that person immensely. Because doubt very quickly makes you lose your energy, makes you lose your self-confidence, and then they can more easily move you around, manipulate you, make you doubt yourself even more. This is how the prey is being destroyed. And an example of that we see in the films Gaslighting.
I came home and I put my keys on the table and went about my business, went back to that spot on the table, couldn't find my keys. I asked him where they were. He said he didn't know. I went to the house looking like crazy, returned to the living room, found my keys where I put them in the first place. And I remember saying, they weren't here a second ago. And he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you sure you're fine? You're acting kind of crazy.
Gaslighting, it's a process of rendering another person mentally ill. And that is, of course, the worst thing you can do to a person. Even physical wounds are never as bad as driving someone insane.
Most of this relationship I spent in a state of total confusion. Like, for instance, one time he hurt me physically really bad, so bad that I had bruises on my arms, and I was ready to get out of this relationship, and I sent him pictures of my bruises saying this is not good. When I saw him the next day, I thought he was going to apologize. But when he came in, he had his wrist in bandage. I asked him if he had an accident at work or something, but he claimed that I had done that to him. I went over the past night again and again in my mind, and I was 100% sure I never even touched him. But then I could see his wrist in bandage, and it got me really confused. He told me I was crazy. He told me there was something wrong with my memory, and instead of doubting him and his manipulative tactics, I doubted myself. I had no idea what gaslighting was, and that he was just trying to stop me from going to the police. And even though deep down, I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, I felt guilty anyway, and I stayed in the relationship.
Gaslighting is relentless. It is planned. It is evil. There's no respite. There's no retreat. No way to avoid it. The abuser gaslights you via the phone, via chats, physically, online, offline. There's nowhere to escape. There's nowhere to go. And the voice of the abuser is inside your head forever, the introject. So you can't even escape the abuser by going no contact. That's the only abuse technique where no contact doesn't work. I came up with the strategy of no contact in 1997, and immediately victims told me, yes, I can go no contact if he beats me. I can go no contact if he shouts at me. I can go no contact if he steals my money. But how do I go no contact if his voice is inside my mind, telling me all the time, you're crazy. You see you're crazy? You see you're delusional? You see you have hallucinations? You see, how do I get rid of this voice? And indeed, you can't. This voice goes with you. And it goes with you long after the relationship is over. That's the main problem with gaslighting. You doubt yourself essentially forever.
I absolutely believed I was crazy, so much so that I went to the psychologist and sat there and looked at that woman in all seriousness and said, I think I'm crazy. I think I've completely lost my entire mind. That's how much I believed it. I started becoming paranoid. I started becoming anxious because I didn't believe my own reality. I didn't even believe my own memories. When he grabbed my throat and denied it, I was like, you know what, maybe my memory is off. That's how insane I felt.
She called me crazy every day. Especially when I would, when she got caught on certain things, like for instance the cheating or stealing money from me or whatever. If you would confront her with something that she did, she would go crazy, and she would, call me crazy for thinking that.
He would call me a whore out of the blue or call me crazy, and when I responded and said like, why would you say something horrible like that? Then he would say like, I never said that. See, you're crazy. It's literally crazy making.
He would say something and then immediately take it back and say, I never said that. Grab my throat. I never grabbed your throat. You are so mean that you would ever make stuff like that up. What is wrong with you? That's what he did.
The narcissist himself does not perceive reality properly. The narcissist has something called cognitive deficits. He reinterprets reality to support his grandiosity. And so he would tend to conflict with the victim. The victim would say something and the narcissist would say, that's not true, it never happened, I never said that.
They isolate you from others so you can't test your truth. And when you can't test your truth, everything they say becomes the truth. And, that's why gaslighting works. Because you can't, nudge your friend and be like, is this real or what? Because you won't have any friends anymore. Because you are only invested in him. Every time you want to meet up with someone who isn't him, he'll have some kind of crisis, which makes you stay at home.